Welcome back to the Tropical Update. It's Friday, September 15th. I'm Tom. I'll be guiding you through the graphics. We're going to be talking about Jose, which is a tropical storm, but is forecast to get back to hurricane strength here on Friday. We'll also be talking about our two waves. One is now a tropical depression that came off of Africa. First up, let's look at our 5-day cone on Jose. And as I was telling you last night, it looked like it was going to be getting closer to New England. And with our latest one here, it's just about touching the North Carolina coast and up in the New England area. I'm going to show you the one from yesterday, 24 hours ago. And you can see how that one was further out into the Atlantic, so it did trend to the west. So New England, as I said yesterday, needs to keep a sharp eye out. And there it is again. This is our latest one, and New England definitely will be getting some rip currents and high waves from Jose no matter what. Actually, the whole eastern coast. And here is showing where Jose is, and it's also showing the wave that has about an 80% chance of development in the next 5 days. And there is tropical depression 14 that's just off the coast of Africa, just south of the Cape Verde Islands. Now let's look at our tracking. Our tracking has changed a little bit. It's trended a little bit further west. That's why they moved the cone west. And we'll just have to keep a very good eye on this and see what goes on with that blocking high I was talking about yesterday. So what's Jose going to be doing over here on the East Coast? Well, from North Carolina to New England, I see there's going to be a good chance of rip currents and high surf. And also probably the whole southeast coast, probably from Florida on up, will probably be getting some watches and warnings soon for rip currents and high surf. It is supposed to be back to a hurricane sometime on Friday. As of now, there are no watches or warnings for anything over on the east coast of the U.S. as of now. And here is a picture of Jose. It's having a little bit of trouble with wind shear, so it's not doing as good as it could, but they expect that to change and it to get back to hurricane force Friday. Back to our 5-day, and looking at that tropical wave that's moving west, you can see that the cone is touching the Leeward Islands. So very much they need to check back with me, and we'll keep a good eye on what's going to be going on. Also, you can see tropical depression 14 out there. These are the spaghetti models that we have right now, and they're calling this one 96L. And most of the models are showing it going west toward the islands, toward the Leewards. And you'll see on this next track that there is a few that are showing it going north, but normally there's always some crazy models this early in the stage of the storm that just go off on their own crazy. But the majority of what's there right now is showing that it's going to keep going sort of west-northwest, and the islands very well may be in the path of this. And here's a picture, and you can see it's just sort of a disorganized area right now. That's why it's just called investigative area. It's not a tropical depression like 14 is. And talking about 14, here is the first cone on 14, Tropical Depression 14. And before you get concerned looking at this cone that, it's pretty much on the same track as Irma, you need to look at our computer models. And looking at those, you see that it's expected to make a turn to the north and then to the northeast in the middle of the Atlantic. So maybe the only thing possibly could be a problem for would be Bermuda, and I'm not sure it's even going to get close to Bermuda. Now here's a picture of it. Here's Tropical Depression 14, and actually looks pretty good. Looks much better than our Invest 96, and doesn't look too much different than Jose, but it only has 35-mile-an-hour winds. Its pressure is 1,010 millibars, so it's very weak. Now this I just pulled up. This is the wave heights for Jose, and you can see 13-foot waves. So as this gets closer to the coast, I'm sure there's going to be watches and warnings go up for high surf and rip currents along the east coast of the U.S. This one I wanted to show you. There's that high. That's that high that's could be going to steer Jose a little bit further west. Basically, they're calling it a blocking high. At least that's what I call it. Well, that's about it for tonight. And we're going to keep an eye on 96L to see what it's going to be doing in the next day or two, because our friends in the islands need to know that. They're just recovering from the last hurricane that came through. And obviously we're going to keep an eye on Jose with its impacts with high surf and rip currents. I want to say thank you to all our subscribers and people that come and check us out. Make sure you hit the subscribe if you haven't already. We just talked to some family in Florida, and they still have no electricity and no running water. So things are still a little rough in Florida right now, and our best wishes go out to everybody there. We're going to be looking at both those tropical waves as they move west, and all our friends in the islands, make sure you check back with us, because we'll have a lot more on where all that's going. Till next time, have a great day.